the third world is not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few poor countries in this world. Only the people are poor. When people didn't have enough to eat, when people were driven to the edge of desperation, there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. The capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the bauxite. They have taken out of these countries. These countries are not underdeveloped. They're overexploited. They're overexploited. They're overexploited.
Hi there, namaste to you, and welcome to the Friday edition of the LALL show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM, just about 21 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we're ready to rumble this evening here, whereas we tell it as it is. Rumble in the jungle. I like that. All right. With that said, I hand you over to the man of the moment who will assist us to rumble in that jungle. Sir, namaste, and the floor is yours.
Namaste, guys. Namaste, Tony. Yes, I love that. I love that. Namaste, listeners. I don't know how to save the world. I don't have the answers. But what I do know is that I have some ideas that could help correct the mistakes of the past and the mistakes that are being made presently as we grow through life. Not go through life, as we grow through life. I keep highlighting so many things on these programs to get our leaders to stop going down the same road, repeating the same mistakes day after day that is hurting this nation and its people. I did promise to talk about a press conference I attended with the Honorable Vice President, Bartica, Wednesday gone. Tonight, it's Friday. Josh?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's Friday. We'll have to have a drink later. Tonight, I want to touch on only one of several things he spoke about. So let's get going. Did I say namaste again? Or should I say it again? I love tonight. I'm very happy tonight. One of my reporters asked Mr. Jagdeo if the 2% royalty Guyana gets is recoverable by the oil companies. Meaning, Uncle, if ExxonMobil can take back that money they give to Guyana in their expenses. And this is how our Vice President, Jagdeo, answered that question. Please listen carefully to him as I play.
He brings out all the
I gotta get it right. Aye.
And we need a transportation from 10 Mile to Sharif.
All right. This is how he answered that question.
Yes, the thing is that the lawyers have to do it. I don't want to venture public positions that I may have to walk back at some point in time, so I should be a bit more cautious on this. Because on other matters, we've had some contention.
If you didn't hear, let me play it back again.
Yes, the thing is that the lawyers have to do it. I don't want to venture public positions that I may have to walk back at some point in time, so I should be a bit more cautious on this. Because on other matters, we've had some contention.
Wow. That is the most important question on oil that anyone can ask where your oil share is concerned, Uncle. And that was the answer we got from the man who's heading the nation's US $1 trillion oil sector. Telling this nation that he doesn't know, he doesn't want to say things that will come back to haunt him. The lawyers we have will have to first look back at the contract before they can say anything on this.
So he said he's going to renegotiate before he got to the power.
You, an ex-president of this country, the financial guru of the world, telling this nation that lawyers have to look back at a contract that is in front of his eyes to tell the Guyanese people, if what Exxon is paying us, they can take it back the next day. A stranger has to come to tell you whether the 2 mangoes you get yesterday from your mango field, the picker is taking it back tomorrow when he pick. This is unbelievable. It is unthinkable. It's unimaginable for an answer he gave. You know, Ms. Harris, that answer he gave forced me 50 minutes later to do a follow-up on the question, on that same question to him. Just hear what I asked him. I said, sir, you talked about royalty when Kiana asked if it's recoverable. And I didn't hear you very clearly. Hear his answer he gave for the second time. Allow me to play it. I'm not getting the video now. I don't know what happened to it.
Royalties. I heard you talked about the royalty when Kiana asked if it's recoverable. And I didn't hear you very good.
Yeah, but that's why I gave an explanation. I have not looked at this matter carefully, so I don't want to give a venture. That's the last thing I do. Venture.
That's the most important thing. That's
Right.
what this country
Right.
depends on.
I'll look at it. I'll give you an answer.
Should I play it back?
Please. Play it back, yes?
Play it back. The most important question,
It's not a
Royalties. I heard you talked about the royalty when Kiana asked if it's recoverable. And I didn't hear you very good.
Yeah, but that's why I gave an explanation. I have not looked at this matter carefully, so I don't want to give a venture. That's the last thing I do. Venture.
That's the most important thing. That's what
Right.
this country
Right.
depends on.
I'll look at it. I'll give you an answer.
there you go. Our vice president said he gave an explanation already. And I don't want to guess on it because I haven't looked at this matter carefully. Then I said to him, royalty, the most important thing to this nation. And he said, that's right. He will look at it and give an answer.
Why didn't we say it?
When that answer will come, uncle, only God in heaven will know. And only he will be able to interpret the answer that he will give. I am waiting, and I am certain that all of you will be waiting for that answer. This is your present and future, uncle. This is the prosperity for generations to come. And you have the man in charge of your US $1 trillion industry telling the nation that he doesn't know if ExxonMobil taking back the 2 mangoes tomorrow that they give us today. Taking back the 2% royalty we getting today, tomorrow. He doesn't know. he have to ask lawyers, uncle. Glenn LALL and his staff know the answer to that question, uncle and auntie. You will have to listen for the continuation of this sexy royalty story come Monday. I am not going further with this. Monday I will expand on it. It is more sweet. It is so sweet that it is sexy. As I sat through that 3-hour press conference, I want to be honest with all of you. Every single thing the Vice President spoke about there, if it's not total madness, it's not the total truth. In subsequent programs, I will play him and explain piece by piece what he said on the many topics he touched on and how he is deliberately and carefully misleading this nation. I woke up this morning and did something I never did before. Sat on my chair and said a silent prayer for Guyana as to where the leaders are taking this country. I prayed for the oil companies too, uncle and auntie. So let's move on to another topic. Another topic by our president, Irfan Ali. 4 months now, I have been encouraging and begging you people to confront your leaders as to what is happening with your resources. I was extremely delighted when I heard a female farmer from Bartica heeded my call and questioned President Ali. I keep insisting that all of you have the right to know what is happening with the blessings God Almighty has blessed us with. When it comes to our wealth, our resources, uncle, the gold, the diamond, the bauxite, the timber fields, along with our oil blocks out there. They are very, very healthy and wealthy for all our future. Let me remind some of you, the value of our oil blocks could have played a major role in our livelihoods today, but they have disappeared in the wee hours into the hands of people that have left many questions unanswered about who got them, how they got them, who are benefiting from them, where these people come from, and what expertise they have in the oil industry as to being in possession of these oil blocks. I want to repeat, had these blocks sold on the open market, Guyana would have paid off the entire region's debt. Salaries could have been 5 times more than the money the public servants getting now. And money would have been rolling in this country like sand. No Guyanese would have had to go to bed hungry in this country. That's the kind of money we already lose out on just on those oil blocks giveaway. But is the but, uncle? Yes, is the but. No questions, no answers. We are now learning, Bernard, we are now learning in 2022 from a 2019 EITI report that Guyana has an oil block that was given away to a company that doesn't have one single employee. Here, man. Not one single worker. But these people got an oil block. Can you imagine something like that, uncle? Mr. Tony? It's true. A company has the Borbees oil block and does not have a single dog or cat working in the company. Man, how is that possible? And why that oil block is still in the hands of those people? Can somebody answer that question for me, man? I've been asking so many questions on this radio. We carried that story Wednesday. Yes, 2 days ago. And the company responded the next day, Thursday, saying that they cannot afford to drill a well in the block because they have other priorities. Them get your oil block free, holding on to it, making money from foreign investors on the oil block and telling us they can't afford to drill a well. Can you guys imagine that one?
Why couldn't Guyana be doing that?
Can something like this ever happen anywhere else in this world, man? What do you say to a government? What do you say to the opposition when you hear things like this, uncle? Was that just a shell company that the owners created for the purpose of getting the oil black? Huh? What a Guyana you live in, eh? Isn't this a beautiful place, Tony? Oil black gone into people's hands free. Sitting down waiting to get the right price for them pockets. While you sitting down waiting to get a meal and to put biscuits in your lunch, in your children's lunch kits for go to school. All this is going on while these cake shop clowns we have for leaders talking about development of the country and the prosperity of its people. Uncle, every application for an oil block comes with a plan. How they will execute the work program. How much money they have to begin the exploration phase. How many persons they will employ and stuff like that. What happened here now? What did they present so that they get the Borby oil block? May I ask? Or is it a friendship thing, Bernard? What do you think? Beautiful land this is. This is a beautiful land with President Ali leading it. Uncle and auntie, the same day the story was carried, with no employees, the young president visited Bartica. And after he finished his speech about his vision for Guyana, he opened the floor for the gathering to voice their concerns and to ask questions. I love this piece. One female farmer stood up, all decked out. Man, I never see somebody dressed like this. In the PPP colors, and said to our president, Mr. President, I am a farmer too, and added that the lack of transportation to ferry her produce from the farm is a heavy burden, and requested the president's help in that situation. She then said to the president, I have one more question, sir. I want to ask you what happened to the oil blocks. Tell us something about the oil blocks. When that second question on the oil blocks was asked, there was a huge round of applause from the audience when she finished asking that question, Bernard. Up come the young president with the most beautiful answer ever one could hear. I want you guys to hear what was the answer he gave to that lovely lady and how he delivered it. Joshua, could you please play that tape for the audience?
They don't see the realization of a better hope, of a better future. They don't contribute to the debate that will lead to how we translate this into that better future. You yourself ask for transportation to bring out the produce. I want to give you the transportation, but you know what will help me do it faster? The revenue. That will help to build the infrastructure that will support agriculture, that will help you with the subsidies you want as your input for agriculture, that will help to build a modern infrastructure, that will create a services industry. You think those 6-7 hotels that are coming now would have come? Guyana existed a long time before oil. Those 7 hotels that are coming that will employ hundreds and thousands of Guyanese. Don't you see that? All the new lands that are opened up along Guyana, all the new roadways, the new machining facilities, the new piping facilities. I said in my address, let us be factual. Let us understand the reality and not gaff. This is a president that is not interested in gaffing. This is a president that is interested in doing. So if you want to gaff, you can call critic and them boys and gaff. But if you want to talk development and talk how we achieve the targets we are setting, how we will achieve having the best possible health care the world can offer here for all of you, the best possible education, having the coding and software development, having free university education, having all our teachers trained. Which country in the world can say that all the 3 teachers are trained teachers? If you're talking about those development that we are going to achieve, then you'll have a conversation with this president. Thank you.
Uncle and auntie, the most disgusting part of that episode,
My son have a
is when
little star.
as this, I don't have words to describe a head of state response to an honest, simple, and relevant question as to our oil block. Honestly, Bernard, I know Mr. Ali for quite a while and never for a moment thought that he had it in him to sink so low into the gutter and be so crude and rude to a woman who asked a simple and honest question about the most important thing to all our lives and livelihood, oil blocks. I have also never heard a leader of a nation carrying on like that in my lifetime. Uncalled for is not words to describe that attitude of a president. So I will leave that up to you, the listeners, to judge your president, this young president. I just want to say to that sister, I salute you for your courage to stand up and speak out for your rights. I love you, and I mean that. I love strong and fearless, courageous people. Let me say this to that farmer. Call me anytime if you need my help. Asking about oil blocks worth billions of US dollars given to people free, waiting to collect money without putting a cent or employing a dog or a cat is offensive to our president. You believe this thing? Oil blocks that had to be returned since February of this year to Guyana, in keeping with the laws of this country, and has not yet been delivered back to us, has angered the leader so much so that he railed off on that poor citizen asking to tell her something about our oil blocks. Could you play it back, man? Play back that thing for me, please. Play it back. Christ, man. This is unbelievable.
Why is he so
Of a better future. They don't contribute to the debate that will lead to how we translate this into that better future. You yourself ask for transportation to bring out your produce. I want to give you the transportation, but you know what will help me do it faster? The revenue. That will help to build the infrastructure that will support agriculture, that will help you with the subsidies you want as your input for agriculture, that will help to build a modern infrastructure, that will create a services industry. You think those 6, 7 hotels that are coming now would have come? Guyana existed a long time before oil. Those 7 hotels that are coming that will employ hundreds and thousands of Guyanese. Don't you see that? All the new lands that are opened up along Guyana, all the new roadways, the new machining facilities, the new piping facilities. I said in my address, let us be factual. Let us understand the reality and not gaff. This is a president that is not interested in gaffing. This is a president that is interested in doing.
He said quite a mouthful there, Uncle. Tell the sister that they're auctioning the piece oil blocks them get back. And if she want a piece, she must put in a bid. Making a mockery of her. And you know what is the most disgustful thing during his response, Uncle? The audience, you heard them cheering on, clapping away, as if this was entertainment for them. This woman fighting for every Guyanese to know something about the oil blocks. And you guys clapping with the president as he views out this lady? Huh?
Disgusting, disgraceful.
Then he went on to say how much time we have to explain this thing. Let me say this, Mr. President Ali. What have you ever explained to this nation on the oil industry? Absolutely nothing. You have never, your party or the opposition have never explained anything so far in the oil industry, especially the oil blocks. Nothing. He has never held a press conference to talk about this $1 trillion oil industry. Although he said with his own mouth that Guyana get the wrong end of the stick and promised the nation to review and renegotiate the contract.
You should play them back.
I can't find that tape to play him back. But the opposition leader, the then Joseph Harman, had promised 4 consecutive times to put together a team, an oil team, to talk to this country. He went off. Now Norton took over. And to now, there has never been an oil conference to speak to this nation. Neither the government nor this man. And he said he fed up talking about this. Wow. I'm happy that you guys can hear these leaders you have. These clowns for leaders you have. He told the audience, we could either choose to leave the oil or use it for the prosperity of Guyana and the rest of the Caribbean people. Is what prosperity this man talking about, Uncle? What will give the region prosperity when a vice president can't even tell the nation whether the 2% we getting, Exxon can take it back? Huh? Where is this prosperity? You care to answer that question, Mr. Ali? That's a question Glenn LALL and the entire world would like to hear from you. That is the most important question. That is what you should go around the country and tell the people. If ExxonMobil taking back the 2% that they're giving us on a daily basis, the next day. That's what you should tell them. He went on to say we either choose to leave the oil or use it for prosperity. Mr. Ali, the oil should be left where it is until we get a fair deal. a better share in which the people of the region can have the prosperity you're talking about. With what we are getting now, even a quarter of Guyana will see no prosperity. You care to tell us something about that? Bernard, when I really listened to that tape, you know, it really irked my feelings to know that these guys are your leaders, and look how we attacking, disrespecting, right? One of his sister who asks honestly to tell us something about the oil blocks.
Why can't you talk like that to Exxon?
You know? He abused down the sister until she, instead of trying to be negative and ridicule, Guyanese should find out how other countries proudly talk about Guyana. Did you guys hear anything negative or ridiculing with that question she asked? Huh?
He's guilty, man.
I didn't. You heard him say, Uncle? Auntie? Guyanese, he said Guyanese should find out how other countries, they sometimes proudly talk about, became highly developed and rich. But in this country, when we are blessed with natural resources, we have people that see all kinds of jumbie in that blessings. Let me ask our president to name one Asian, African or Latin American country that has developed with their oil resources. Venezuela?
Zero.
Peru?
Zero.
Argentina?
Zero.
Mexico?
Zero.
Anyone in Africa or Asia?
Zero.
How come he didn't see the woman contributing to the debate by asking him about the oil block? Huh? Isn't that a fair, decent question? Isn't that contributing to the debate for a better Guyana?
Exactly.
Ms. Harris?
Definitely.
What is wrong with that?
Definitely.
That is part of the debate, Mr. Ali. He didn't call for cost down.
It's too much of an education question.
Yes.
Simple question.
Yeah.
Then he went on to abuse down the woman some more. You ask for transportation money to help bring out your produce. I want to give you, but you know what? You know what I'm going to do? And what I'm going to do faster? The revenue coming from the aisle. Let me say this to all Guyana, especially that gathering there that was clapping and cheering on the abusive president. Nobody has to go beg for transportation money to bring out their produce anywhere. If these cake shop clowns were running and managing the affairs of this wealth, had been running it right, without greed, thievery and tricks, every household can receive more than $1 million a month. Uncle and auntie, that will give you the prosperity the president just spoke about. You will be so comfortable that you would be able to import your agricultural produce rather than standing up in the sun cutting cane, planting cassava, or picking ukru. That's how rich this land is, Uncle and Auntie. But like I said, when you have greedy, uncaring, covetous, and incompetent politicians who spewing pure ignorance, it is sad. Yes, it is sad. When Bharat Jagdeo, an ex-president, can answer a basic question, can't answer a basic question about the royalty you're receiving, then God Almighty has to help this land.
He's in charge of that. He said he doesn't.
Yeah, man. The president got so furious, Mr. Bernard, that he said, you think those 6, 7 hotels that are coming now would have come? Gosh, when you hear these things, you know, it's a lucky thing that I am a healthy individual.
You think his family going to be
I want to vomit.
You think his family going to be cleaning those hotels?
I want to vomit. You feel sick, I want to vomit. Guyana existed a long time before oil. Those 7 hotels, those 7 hotels that are coming will employ hundreds of thousands of Guyanese. Don't you see that?
No, there's a mistake there.
Man, hold on, man. This is what the man said. This is not what Glenn Lal said.
90,000 come from the other islands.
No, he said hundreds and thousands.
Hundreds of thousands of people. That means all of Guyana will be employed in the hotel, 7 hotel.
That's what he wants.
He said hundreds and thousands.
My God. I need to take a rest. And I thought I needed help. You know? But those words from the president's mouth reminded me of something I learned many moons ago. It's better to keep your mouth shut and let people think that you are a fool than to open it and confirm that you are one. Guyana existed a long time before oil, and nobody ever come to build hotels. These cake shop clowns. I don't think he understands what he said there. Let me help him. Let me help him, Uncle. Mr. President, hotels come here because the oil is here. You never hear where the bees does go. It is go very honey there. That's why the hotels come here, Mr. President. Because the honey they're here. And let me push it a little further so you can understand, Mr. President. Guyanese like myself should have been the owners of those hotels rather than workers. You understand what I'm saying?
Excellent.
Can somebody tell him this? Huh? A big chunk of the people's prosperity you talk about will be going out through those hotels, leaving this country to settle with the cleaning and security jobs of the hotels.
Slave labor.
Yes, slave labor, Mr. President.
Slaves and servants and white people.
I have talked about this thing umpteen times before, but it is difficult to teach clowns and dunces who refuse to listen or learn, man. Then he went on to say we should be thankful that a white man coming here to build hotels for give Guyanese people jobs. You believe these people, man?
You think his family be cleaning there?
It's the same line Jagdeo was preaching when he was president. This young man adapt from him. And all of them keep repeating the same thing.
We must have classes.
You remember Wednesday I played at Trini MP? Huh? He said, this is the people y'all vote for. This is the people y'all stain y'all fingers for. Okay. This is what you voted for? Jobs? Okay. I love that man. If I had time, I would have played him back for y'all. You have a government that only see jobs and part-time jobs in an oil-producing country that has the second largest oil reserve on earth per citizen.
Slave job too.
To make that more simple, Uncle, every citizen in this country is number 2 where money is concerned in this world. And you have these cake shop clowns talking about part-time job, cutting cane, planting rice, yes, bora and pumpkin for export. This type of business, Uncle, let me make it very clear so you understand what I'm saying, man. This type of business was for yesteryear, when we didn't have oil. But these clowns don't have the vision or wisdom to understand how rich we are today. They are praising the white people hotels and praising the foreigners in Ayabak Dam for giving we brothers and sisters a few jobs to fetch out your gold and your diamond and your bauxite and now your oil. This is the prosperity Ali is talking about. Back to square one, where we were 10 years ago. That's what he's talking about. Hustling, he putting us back where we will have to hustle to put rice, dal, and cassava in our plate. They can't see. They don't have the wisdom to understand that we should be living a higher life, eating a knocking wine glass, drinking champagne with lobster, just like the white people. No. They want you to live the same hungry life you've been living all the time. Being a worker, never owning anything. That's what these political clowns doing to this nation. You know, Miss Harris, I didn't get the full recording of the entire abuse down. But late this afternoon, I received another recording with a woman, that same sister in Bartica, asking the question. And the first part of his answer to her is very clear on this tape. I will now play that piece for you to listen to the woman's question. Could you play it?
My son have a little car that he brings out all the farmers, even the lady that just now speak. And we need a transportation from 10 Mile to Sharima so that we could get this thing going the proper way. I need to know what is happening with the oil blocks. Could you please share something with me?
And the oil blocks will be auctioned. We're examining the possibility of a national oil company in the auctioning. So you have an opportunity to put in a bid. Right? Because I don't understand how much times you have to explain the same thing. I'm very, very factual. I'm very factual. We have said, and let me be very clear on this issue with oil. If we believe that oil alone will lead to transformation, you gotta be kidding.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me be very clear with this issue of oil. If you think that oil alone will lead to transformation, you got to be kidding. That we tell this nation. Miss Harris, committing suicide was never an option in my life. But when I hear a president, the head of state of my country, one of the fastest growing economy on earth, all because of oil production, and your leader telling its people, if y'all think oil alone will lead to transformation of your country, y'all got to be kidding. Then God be with Guyana. I refuse to believe as I sit here, Miss Harris, those words came out of his mouth.
But that's what he's behaving. He's right.
Say our prayers, please, and let's move on. Please. You hear what a man said just now?
He's right.
Huh? Say our prayers and let's move on. We carried a story in the Kaieteur news today. Yeah. The oil companies done takeout in 2020 and 2021. Hear this one, Bernard. $356 million US. You hear me, man? $356 million for clean up them pipes from the ocean floor 20 years from now. And every year they will be taking out the same amount or more. You hear that? That money should have been in our hands. Yes. In our bank books. Instead, the oil people got it in their pockets. Reinvesting it, making more money. 71 billion Guyana dollar. That is. Them keeping from now and every year collecting more. Keeping for us. And the clowns we have said they don't have money to increase people's salary. You hear that? $71 billion. Them got Exxon Mobil keeping for the next 20 years. That money, uncle, let me explain, is 14.7% increase the public servants can get right away. This is the prosperity. This money you can use and give the people the prosperity you're talking about, Mr. Ali.
Well deserved.
That is what you should be using. Rather than have Exxon Mobil hold on for we money. The money we get on royalty that President Ali boasting about, you gotta hear this piece, man. The money that President Ali boasting about, we get from royalty is and profit. Royalty and profit is half of what we get there. What I already take out for cleanup money. Not half, sorry, not half. We get 607 million from royalty and profits. And them take out 355 million. You can do the maths, that's simple. You can do the maths for cleanup. More than half of what we get. Man, when you think about this thing, you feel like holding your head and bawl with these clowns of what they're doing. The 2-year royalty and profit give Guyana $607 million. And half of that money come out from we oil sitting in people's hand. This is not even a cake shop. Clowns running this country, man. This more look like a graveyard or something these people running. Or they're good to make sugar cake for sale on the street. We vice president say Exxon Mobil them can use we money. You hear that? Our vice president say they can use we money. It's fungible. Yeah, you can invest them. While we have Ashley Singh announcing that we have to go to the international bank to borrow money. People taking new money, 355 million US, reinvesting it to make money for themselves, while President Ali, Vice President Jagdev and the opposition running to international bank to borrow 100 million, not 355, 100 million to build the East Bank public road. Oh boy. You know, tonight I was watching the news before I come on the radio, and all over the news, they're calling Donald Trump a thug and a gangster. Yes, it's on all the news. Donald Trump has suddenly become now not President Trump, a thug, a dishonest individual and a gangster, and he should be charged criminally and placed before the court. I will end it there. You allowing your cousin uncle doing a 50-50 business with you to take out $350,000 from y'all, from the profit y'all, from y'all produce, and put it to his family bank, and you go into the bank for borrow 100,000 to build a bridge for you house. And Jagdeo clapping his hand to that. That is his understanding of how business are to be done. You hear that? That's how simple the thing is. The people are $350 million US investing it, keeping it for we. Money will belong to we. And we run a bank for about 100 million for Belize Bank Road. And President and the Vice President clapping his hand on that. Said the funds are fungible. The people using the money. So what? President Ali behaved that way, uncle, because of this same program. That woman pick up, yes, she pick up that question from the Kaieteur News. Yes, and from this program. And asked the man, what about we Isle Blacks? And he abused on the woman and still did not answer that question, you know. Did not answer the question. Give away 350 million and borrowing 100 for Bill Road. Man, Miss Harris, I feel like stop this program now, man. Scream and holler and cry for this country. This is not madness. This is not insanity. I don't know what to call this. And I'm a businessman. What do you say, Tony? What do you call these things, man?
Disrespect to the whole Guyanese population. That's all it is, Glenn. It's not
let me end. Let me end on a good note tonight. It's difficult to end on a good note, but let me end on a good note. I want to send you all to bed with a smile or with a little hope. We at the Kaieteur News and the Kaieteur Radio has been hammering home daily on almost every aspect of this oil sector. Name it and we have reported on it. We are the people that raised the relinquishment of our oil blocks since last year. We've been knocking on this thing, calling on our government to look at these oil blocks that has to be relinquished. Yes, that has pushed the government to act. That is why President Ali could have said, we are now auctioning out what they have been collecting back. The Kaieteur News is what raised the oil block. Yes, with no workers inside. You hear that? We who exposed that story 2 days ago.
They can't give the difference anymore.
Today, and this is the part I want to tell them. Today the government announced that the same company that holds the Borbis block and the Demerara block, 2 blocks now, have to return them back to Guyana because they haven't fulfilled or lived up to the agreement. Isn't that a big plus for Guyana? Ever heard? Ms. Harris, we should give ourselves a little nip for that, man. If it wasn't for the Kaieteur News, you would never get it back.
You're not smart like a Kaieteur can't block out, just sell it to exam. That's why.
At least it will go on the market now and Guyana can get some real money through auction. I could see through the radio somebody smiling, you know.
Exactly, because
I could see.
Who will get the money?
exactly.
I could see.
And who believes that?
I could
Who
see.
will get money? Yeah,
Oh,
right.
you're so hopeful.
Yeah, right.
So naive.
By the way, one of the state agencies, before I take your phone calls, one of the state agencies that Vice President Jagdeo said we must use to request the gold, diamond, bauxite, timber, and all the contracts from, have promised to release them. I am very happy. So much, so much so that I have to collect it next week. And that gives me a big smile on my face. Joshua, the phone line, if you get any calls there, you can take it. Miss Harris, a friend visited me today, begging me to take it light. He said, Glenn, you got to look at your health, man. And went on to preach on me a little. I said to him calmly, I said, if you were sick, lying in your bed or in your hammock, and you see your neighbor being robbed, what will you do? Take it light? He said, no, Glenn. He will raise an alarm or call the police.
What are you doing?
I then asked him, if he see the neighbor's son is one of the robbers, what will he do? He said he will have to get up from his sick bed to tell the neighbor his son is involved. And I told him, thank you. That's all Glenn is doing, raising an alarm, informing the Guyanese people as to how they're being robbed every day by the foreigners, and the politicians are part of the robberies that is going on. Then I went on to tell him, if I don't do that, I will get sick and die faster. He smiled and said, Glenn, carry on, brother, carry on. You get any phone call? Yo, it's 8:16. I got a few more minutes, man. Before I go, I want to use this opportunity to wish all the fathers on earth and those who are living in space, because that will be my next home. When the foreigners take away Guyana from us. A very happy Father's Day. Father's Day, Sunday coming, if you don't know. Sunday coming is Father's Day. 2 months before Mother's Day, all the stores will be jam-packed. Every day during this week, Miss Harris, I am passing around the stores, not seeing a single soul in them. So I don't know what you guys getting, including me. I ain't got nothing to get.
Same way again, it's been real.
Oh. But do enjoy it, guys. Have a drink for me. I'll have one for you guys too, okay? Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Glenn.
Good evening. You're live on the radio.
You know, I had a little comment to make about that same woman, and I never believed you would have talked about what transpired. You know, when that woman asks about the question about the oil block.
Mm-hmm. Tell me something about the oil block.
Yeah, his answer to that woman is like he's speaking to his child. For me, that question trips something in his brain.
Yes, exactly.
And for me, a more mature answer for me, I would like have answered that woman, you know, I would have admit, yes, madam, we make a mistake, both parties. But I am happy you raised that question.
Can you hold a second? Can you hold 1 second?
Yeah.
Can you hold 1 second?
Okay.
Man, we should not, none of us should be telling a leader how to answer such a question. That is our elected president, my friend. And what you have to look at, where his answer is concerned, okay,
Yeah.
is how offended he was by that question. It speaks volume as to what they're hiding, as to their motive, okay, and what they really mean for this country with our resources. They don't want nobody to ask them anything about the oil blocks. He went to Berbice once, and when the gentleman asked him how much interest we are paying on the loans the oil companies are taking out there, he tell the gentleman, oh, are you listening to the Glenn LALL show? We have all the questions, all the answers to the questions he have. On to this day, he has not answered the interest rate and the interest rate question or any other question. You can see, and I want you guys to understand where these people are taking this country. I have said it umpteen times and let me repeat it. Oil companies, the first thing they come to your country and do is line the pockets of the politicians, create confusion and chaos. And while we fight among ourselves, you hear me? They pack up and take everything away. So read through the line what I'm saying there. The politicians' pocket are well lined. And if you ask them anything about the oil, they are offended. It's an offense you're committing. But I will go to their press conferences and I will encourage every single Guyanese, everywhere you see them, ask them, shout at them, because the wealth is our wealth. It's not their wealth alone, or it's not the mother and father wealth. Okay? It is our people, the Guyanese people's wealth. Yes, continue, sir.
But then he gave the Guyanese people in that answer to her two choice. You have two choice. Either you leave the oil or you continue with the investment when he used the word prosperity. So for me, right? If I have that choice, I would say leave the oil there and let us implement measure to get the right share that we, the Guyanese people, and our children rightly deserve.
My friend, he is just bluffing his way. But want us to say, well, you want we left the oil there, you know?
Well, that's what I say, left it there, and let me implement a measure.
Well, I am not saying, wait, one second. I will not say leave it there. I will not say leave it there because I know better than that. We have already signed a contract. Okay? We can do a lot more with the rest of the oil blocks them. Okay? Well, we have already signed a contract. But we can garner, we can pinch back, we can squeeze out billions of American dollars. I want every Guyanese to listen to me Monday night. Don't forget, call your friends, call your families, because I have a special program. I think it will be one of my best program ever, Monday night. And I want you guys to listen to me carefully Monday night.
Hear this thing here. In the way that he answered that woman, when a lion roar in the jungle, what is the lion intention? When he roar in the jungle,
it's to scare.
It's to drive a fear in the other animal, so that he can get easy prey. So it's like so the way is like he is telling the people, the Guyanese people,
don't ask him nothing.
No one best don't ask any question about oil.
Exactly.
Because there is nothing for you.
Yeah, the oil belongs to his parents or his grandparents alone.
And hear this thing here.
Go ahead.
7 hotels he talk about. Is who money building the hotel, man?
No.
It's the money that Mr. Barnum Bridge, our harbor bridge, where it costing us $200 to cross.
All right, hold. All right, hold for me.
Like the Barbies Bridge.
Can you hold for me? Can you hold for me? The bridge, you ask a question there. Who building the hotel?
That's what.
Let me answer you. The white people bringing in their money to build the hotel. Okay, that's fair and square. But they get our land for next to nothing. Okay, but that's not the issue. They're building a hotel to make trillions out of Guyana's oil. The contention I have, right, or the question you have to ask, why Guyanese like me and you wasn't given the land and the option with the concessions to build such a hotel to make money. Okay?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, this last thing though, I want to note, and that woman, I think she have to watch out.
All right, bye. Don't tell me them nonsense then. I'm not going to condone these type of argument. I'm not going to condone this thing. I'm not going to take calls from people who tries to bring about negativity or drive fear into people. I wish you, I don't know if you're looking at me on Facebook or YouTube or listening to me on the radio. If you are watching me, look at this face. This face is fearless. And this program is a fearless program. So if you're calling in, be positive and don't bring fear here. Keep the fear for Jack Dew them. If they think they could drive fear, let it drive fear in Glen LALL. Or my people that hang around me. They don't work. It can't work. Not in these days, my friend. Fear came about back in those days when technology wasn't there. You can't drive fear in nobody down today. And the thief in they're going on with can't continue the way it used to continue. Glen LALL is saying that. And come off this stupidness of fear. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Mr. Glenn, you know what it is? Sir, the problem is that Bartica, Irfan Ali, does not want the people to talk about the oil because they want to control the people and tell the people what they should be getting and what they shouldn't be getting.
I hear you, Danny.
So when the people ask questions concerning the oil, they get upset because they are the leaders. And I'm going to give you what you want, and that's keep your mouth shut and don't ask me any other question.
Thank you, Danny.
That's what it is.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you. Danny, this oil deal, my friend, is a done deal between the politicians and the oil players. And we have to find ways to break that deal. We have to do it. The people will not do it. And running around, trying to intimidate and abuse down people is not going to work, President Ali. It's not going to work, Aubrey Norton, or Vice President Jack Dew. It's not going to work. The people of this country will be behind your bone every single moment. A matter of fact, everywhere I see y'all, I will ask y'all the questions. We are in the open. Good evening, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Just one question was cited a few days ago what Mr. Jack Dew was saying, right? I ain't no one getting it clear. You see, a lot of things we don't understand what he's trying to say. Something about some $9 million no guy needs to vote something.
Thank you.
Can you just explain to me?
Thank you. The $9 million, the gentleman is asking about the $9 million every man, woman, and child owe at present the oil companies with the total investments they have out there. The international oil experts had done the calculations, and they came up with that figure based on what Exxon figures is all about. And the vice president keep repeating himself all the time, like someone who never been to school or run any business, to understand that the investments out there, the people saying, belongs to the people of this country. He's still holding on that no Guyanese owe the people out there. If 75% of cost oil is coming out before profit is shared and going into the hands of the oil people to pay back for their investments and their expenses, then is who debt that is, man? Isn't that the Guyanese people debt, man? Is our oil is paying back for everything out there. So every money spent out there, uncle, is our debt, is a debt on our back. We have to pay it back before we profit too. So the debt is ours, and that's what the international oil export is saying. But we don't have to go to any international oil export to tell us that. That's a basic common sense thing, man. And I did it very simple for you guys already. I said if me and you have an arrangement in which you go and buy a combine to come and cut my rice, and I agree that every 100 bag rice cut on a daily basis, 75 bag rice gotta go pay back for the combine. Is who that is? The man one or the rice field debt? It's a rice field debt. And who own the rice field? I own the rice field. So the money that's going to pay for the combine is my debt and my rice field debt. And Jack Dale seems not to understand that. I don't know which school he went to. Man, an ordinary cake shop man would understand that.
Glenn, it's very simple, Glenn. The $30 billion for the 4 projects, Lisa 1 and Lisa 2 is $10 billion, Payar is $9 billion, and Yellowtail is $10 billion. So it's $30 billion divided by 750,000 people equal $44,000 each.
Exactly.
$44,000 is almost $9 million Guyana each. So every single Guyana, every single 750,000 citizens of Guyana owes $44,000 to ExxonMobil.
Yes, but Bernard, Jack Dave is saying that we don't owe nothing.
So why is 75% of oil going to pay them if you don't owe them?
Exactly. That is what he said that back in the press conference again, and I really don't want to get into an argument at a press conference.
But isn't that stupid? If 75 out of every 100 barrel oil you produce have to go to pay them back, why are we paying them back for if you don't owe them? Exactly. Right? How come we are only splitting 25 barrels between us?
Exactly.
Right? We produce out of every 100 barrel we produce in it. If we only split in 25, what's the 75 for? Is not to pay back the debt?
And let me tell you this.
Is it that stupid?
Let me tell you this, my friend. The Guyanese people, many of them, believe them, these clowns. You know?
Glenn, when you have a population again that average IQ is less than 85, all of this, the majority of the smart people in this country, if 85% of a university graduates leave your country, Glenn, it only leaves the dumbasses, man. I'm sorry. But okay.
All right.
A question that the reporters should ask the vice president and all of them is, they love to say about international best practices. Can you please have your reporter ask them the next time, right, that if the decommissioning fund is being left to the oil company for 20 years down the line, could you ask them if it's international best practice that if international, all the other countries in the world that has oil, they should be doing the same thing, right?
Man.
They like to quote that international best practice. So ask them if it's international best practice to allow the oil company to take all the decommissioning fund and keep it to give the country 20 years in the future.
Bernard.
Which country is doing it?
No country does that, but they like to say the international best practice.
Bernard, there is nothing whatsoever comes with best practices with your money. That's our money.
No. Our contract is the worst in the world. It's nowhere approaching any other country. So when these fools keep on saying that we talk about international best practice, they love to come with that statement. I want you to ask them which thing in our whole contract is the flaring is another thing. They say the Guyana is flaring how much million cubic feet, and they love to come with international. Is it international best practice to flare so many millions of cubic feet every day?
Well, that is something I sometimes I don't have answer to give to that, you know.
Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's the usual cherry picking exercise. You pick what is useful and will help to plug the well at that point, and you say this is what we do, this is how we behave. And then in reality what actually happens is they do as they please.
It's more than that, Ms.
To
Harris.
appease you and tell you and to appear as though they're doing something, they say yes, well, we follow international best practice.
Ms. Harris, it's more than that. It's much more than that. Sometimes I don't want to get down into this. It's more than that. Ms. Harris is downright blatant lying and misleading to a country and its people.
Well, we know that.
That's what they're doing. To use that phrase of international best practices, my friend, when it's not you're lying to a nation. That's what it is.
That's what we're used to.
But that's a way how to wiggle out yourself
Exactly.
from not dealing with the subject matter.
Exactly. And that goes to my next
Right?
point.
So it's deeper than just using the international best practice scenario, Bernard.
Hmm. The deflection, when the woman asked the president about the oil blocks, he completely deflected and refused to answer the question. This is somebody that says he is interested in building a one Guyana, which is inclusive of everybody. So you are here, you say you have this agenda to build a one Guyana, but yet when I question you about my rightful share of this one Guyana, I chose to ask you about the oil, you basically tell me to shut my mouth and then have the audacity to tell me that I should put a bid in for one of the oil blocks. That is the most insulting thing, because in actuality, we should be able to put bids in for the oil blocks.
Exactly.
As citizens of this country,
Yeah,
it's
thank
our
you.
right
Exactly.
to do that. But the way that he used that, the way that he responded to that woman was the complete opposite. His intention is to tell her, look, you have no say in this.
Yes,
Why don't
his eyes
Exactly.
pass the citizen.
It is so much disrespect.
Yes.
But I think a lot of people, regardless of the shouting and the whatever his performance, they're missing the bigger picture in that he is there telling these people about agriculture and fertilizer and nonsense when she's asking him, listen, we're dealing in the 21st century and we're talking about oil. Billions of dollars of oil are leaving this country. But yet you're here telling us about agriculture and fertilizer.
And slave labor as working in
And
hotel.
working in
Hotel and
hotels.
slave labor.
Miss Harris.
He missed it.
Miss Harris, uncle and auntie, let me say this very clear and boldly. Whenever you guys confront them with your questions and you listen to them, respond to them.
Ask the question.
Respond to them. If they shout at you, shout back at them. They can't do you nothing. They can't do you nothing. Glenn Lal is your daddy, call me. 624-6456. They can't do you nothing. This thing is very aggravating. Eh?
Glenn,
they know what they know. You know, monkey know what
live with jump and they don't talk to the oil companies like that. But another thing,
not only oil company, why they're not coming on this radio station?
Now he says, where are you going to get your revenues from? You're going to get fighting for a better deal. So when I'm getting 62.25%, we getting 40%. What are we, junkies?
Yes,
that's where you're going to get. That's where you're going to get the revenue from, Mr. President.
Them is junkies,
right?
Not me.
Yep.
Not
that's
me.
where you're going to get the revenue. So fight for a better deal. Get a fair share. Do not approve any more ships until we get a fair deal. Right? You're not supposed to approve anything more. Nobody
Exactly.
do not approve anything else.
Exactly. Hold on 1 second. Hello. Hello. You're live on the air, sir.
Can I to the panel?
Yeah, let's get going.
Glenn, these people play Russian roulette with me, guys. Russian roulette, the woman touch the man car.
Yes.
Them man flooded this country big time.
Yes.
International stay, Ghana had to pay about 75 barrels. If they use part of being you don't want to make anything. You take it out 75 and you don't bust life.
Every
partners coming to the kind of, you understand?
Yes.
Everything in the Kaieteur used 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
The international export day.
Yes.
And to take out, you could bargain money half and half. Take out 75. Why are the level rate is being going to
No.
Our politician is playing games with us.
No.
They are playing games, they're not no deal.
You got it wrong. You got it wrong. You got it wrong, but it's 50-50. No. It means you didn't understand. 50-50 is not even 50-50 is one of the worst deal too. So you got to understand this thing. The 75 barrel that they take out every day out of 100 is what goes to pay for the cost and the investment, the expenses and the investment. You understand? And yes, man.
That could change.
Would you listen to me, man? Would you listen to me? The people are saying that is what the people are saying, to stop. Don't go down that road. If you continue this road, then at the end the oil will come to an end, and we will end up owing the oil company. That's why we.
Exxon Mobil and the partners, they need Guyana don't need them.
Exactly.
You look like what I'm telling you. I read it. It's Guyana.
Yes.
The oil company need Guyana don't need them. So why? Don't go judge your side, no. Don't go judge your side. Don't switch for me. I read that in the papers with the export pay.
No.
Then when you bargain for Guyana, you bargain for the company.
I hear you.
Games play with us, man. It's
I hear
games,
you.
man.
I hear you.
It's games. Games
All
play
right.
with us.
Thanks.
It's games. Everybody understand that now.
Thank you.
You see when the woman talk, then he can't. The touch is fine there.
Exactly.
The man is agitated right away.
Exactly.
Man is step the leg Bonham look good, man. They make Bonham look good. They're not a class to that man. They can't talk properly. That's the first thing. They don't want the president talking. They will tell you that might not the president. And the next time, no, but these people are these people are politicians. The African man said they are politicians. They're not no leaders. I hear you use this word leader too decent. It's too decent. Stop using the word now.
I hear you. Thanks. Thank you.
Caller, good evening and welcome.
Hey, good night, Mr. Glenn.
Good night.
How are you doing?
Hey.
Hey, you know, I call and listen to your program, and I begging you tonight. I begging the Muslim, the Hindu, the Christian, everybody. And I am begging Joe Biden for help me. And you know what I want to tell you? I want to tell you when Ali Hadi go Escribo for the 56th independence. You know what he tell the people them there? He said that he trained under Bartica there for 19 years. So how you expect better? You can't expect better, but I begging you for help me a whole week. Oh, buddy, I begging and I praying every day that don't give up. I think me God will help you, man.
Thank you.
Amount of praying you for every day.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you.
And I tell you, he said that he been 19 years and Bartica there training. How you get different? So the Bartica them, I begging them very. I live in Bartica, I go in Bartica, I know Bartician people. You see, if them know what you're saying, them know what you're saying. But if that one, what you say is my mother because she can be a bigger person than me. You see, if she get to Front Street and say what she embarrassed about, man, look, tomorrow morning we smiling. I telling you, I begging them, get on board and help me. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
People don't know Bartician people. Even Granger can't go back there. Although he live there. Because he disrespect the people them there. Yeah?
I hear you.
But me got it, and the part of this program, I tell you, me got the qualification for explain all this. But buddy, please, I begging and I cry for Guyana.
Thank you.
These people don't know them right. Yep. If you travel in a bus and you tell the driver turn on the music, all of them turn around for kill you. Yep. And there is the truth, you got the market there, you been at the market, and you tell me if me lying. Buddy, I begging you, help me. I crying to you today, who in barn yet, I know you will help them.
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good night.
Roger.
I watch a TikTok today with a young girl, very passionate. She have a message. She have a message for the justice system. I want to play it for you guys to hear what this young lady had to say. Can I play it now? Yeah, listen to her.
I want to talk about the justice system in Guyana. It honestly makes me sick to think about how stupid the country is sometimes. Like, you're telling me you can rape a young woman and get off with $50,000 bail? 50,000 Guyana dollars? I want to talk about the justice system in Guyana. It honestly makes me sick to think about how stupid the country is sometimes. Like, you're telling me you can rape a young woman and get off with $50,000 bail? 50,000 Guyana dollars? You can run a stoplight, kill a young man, and get off with $20,000 bail. And that's just a few of the stories. And there are thousands and thousands of stories. Wrong people in jail, people getting off, you're paying off. Who is this magistrate that is putting these people on bail? The magistrate needs to be fired. Guyana's justice system, like, please, it needs to be investigated. It needs a restart button, because justice is necessary. That's the only way that the country is actually going to evolve and get to a next level. Oil money can't do that. Building better roads can't do
that. Oil money can't do that. Better roads can't do that. Today's technology is really giving voice to the once voiceless in today's world, Miss Harris. I love that young lady. We need a lot more like her to speak out against what is going on, not only in the justice system, but in every other facet of life. A 14-year-old raped by a taxi driver a few days ago. She was waiting for transportation to go to school. Yes. He stopped with his car and drove into the back dam and raped the little girl. Then dropped she back to the spot where he had picked her up. She went home, drink poison, and when the parents saw her behavior, she told them what had happened. She died. She died the next day in the hospital. He was charged. The man who raped her was charged and remanded to prison. The case will be won. This case will be won, Miss Harris, in which I'll be keeping a close eye as to the outcome.
She's dead. What happened? She's sorry then.
No, she's not in it.
That's what they'll say.
To that young lady, I salute you for the stand. Can you hold 1 second? For the stand you have taken. A lot has to be changed in the judicial system in this country. And I am with you and agree with you. Oil money can't do that. Building better roads can't do that. You know, Miss Harris, that young lady should come on this program with me.
You know what?
Yeah.
I agree, because...
Yes, good evening, sir. You're live on the air.
Yes, good night, Glenwell is panel. Mr. Glenwell, I feel the confidence gone from this administration. When I heard that what the president said to that woman could be my sister, I am so hurt when I heard that. I am an NIS pensioner, and I am so hurt. I don't know what second sleep last night. That is my contribution. I lose all confidence in them. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I lose all confidence in him. And today, a lawyer sent me a message. Yeah, thanking me for the wonderful job I'm doing, holding the politicians accountable. but said, Glenn, you are not standing up for us. Many like myself have filed complaints at the Legal Practitioners Committee against other lawyers for misconduct, and the complaints not being heard because the chancellor has not constituted the committee when the law requires the constitution of the committee. Issues of this nature, Ms. Harris, should never meet the press. You guys could have written to the chancellor and asked her what is going on. What is so hard about that, my friend? She's not going to kill you guys for that. She's not going to be upset about that, about putting a committee back in place. Ask her. For all you know, she's a busy judge. You guys got to ask her and work it out, man. But if that is so, it should be in place. Because without that, in the justice system, how can justice prevail?
Oh, but what does that tell you? The fact that a lawyer is asking you for help. What does that tell you? The lawyers are the people who we go to help us when we need. Exactly. The system is a complete sham. You have lawyers who are intelligent, educated people who should be able to defend themselves and who should be able to articulate the fact that they need to set up this commission and to handle the issues that come up in their sector, within the sector. Why are lawyers coming to the press saying that what is required by law hasn't been done and they're not doing anything about it? You see, that's like that's how this is. That's the problem with the society. So the young lady was right in that she said oil money won't fix this and whatever. It's the mentality of the people. Guyanese people are very lazy. We're used to doing one thing the same way over and over again. People are very anti-innovation and anti-change. So unless people themselves start to realize they need to change their mentality, change will never happen.
Exactly.
Change doesn't happen in sweeping waves and motions. It happens person by person. When you decide that your situation is uncomfortable and you wish to change it, that's when change happens. So people need to wake up and realize.
I hear you. Good evening, sir. You're live on the air.
Yes, Mr. Lab, I already made my contribution to that same thing. I'm an NIS pensioner.
Oh, thank you.
I was so hurt, and now I'm hurting that I couldn't sleep last night. When the president speak to that woman like that, come on, this is Guyana, where we're heading for, where are we heading, you know? Come on, man, I'm telling you.
Thank you, bro.
I'm so sick with them now. Thank you.
Welcome. Good night. Oh, Miss Harris, girl, I wish I had the strength to stay on this program all day or some more time. You know, a lot more could have done, but I'll tell you this: things will change. Things are beginning to change. Daily you're seeing it. It's happening. Good evening, you're live on the air.
Good evening, Mr. Lal. Namaste.
Namaste, my friend.
Now, what Ali did to that woman in Bartica, he did more damage to his own party and his own re-election. If election comes up, they will lose. Any sensible citizen in this country should not vote for them. But I know there are going to be fools, followers, who's going to do it. Nonetheless, he should get re-elected after speaking to a citizen like that. Any sensible person should not do something like that. Anyway, I am proud that we made a dent in the administration policy for them to get the oil blocks back.
Yes.
So that's a victory for her.
Yes.
It shows me this morning when I woke up and I heard the news, I was so happy. I said, yeah, we're doing something now. We're getting to them. And they're back, they're fighting each other now. They're fighting each other too, among themselves.
You want to tell you something?
Yes.
Hadn't the Kaieteur News been asking these questions and exposing these stories, those oil blocks would have gone back would have disappeared. Either gone back to the players with a Sutton, or removed from those players into other players' hand with a Sutton. You know the Sutton?
Yes.
You know let's talk about Sutton?
Yes, that's
Sutton, man. You know what Sutton?
Sutton, yes.
Yeah, that's the same thing, Sutton.
And we are doing a good job out there, and we got to keep the fight up. We got to keep them hot, because they're going to fight against themselves. Soon we're going to hear them having arguments and disagreements in the PPP. We can hear it, because when the time comes for re-election, they're going to want to go back there, but they're going to find themselves outside in the street. That's what it is.
My friend, let's not talk about vote and who will go back and from who will go back. That's not our issue. Our issue here should be right now, get our fair share tomorrow morning. Don't wait 4 or 5 years from now, tomorrow morning. Stick with that. Keep that mentality with you all every day you wake up. Where is my share? What is there for me now, today? I want to begin a protest Monday again. Would you like to join me?
I will be joining you.
Call me after the program.
Okay, good.
Have a good night. Thank you. Yeah, let's not talk about vote and who's vote and who will lose vote. No, those two parties, trust me, they're God Almighty for the people of this country. So don't try to get them. Get them. Talk about how we can retrieve what was stolen from us, what belongs to us. I don't want to hear about vote, brother. Please keep that for after we get we fair share. When we get we fair share, you don't even need an election, or you don't even care who lead. We will be so happy, my brother. We will be so at ease, my sister, that we don't have to worry about where we next meal will be coming from. So that is where we have to focus our energies on. With that, I say namaste and happy Father's Day again to all those fathers. Even if your children left you, don't call me. Joshua, you give your daddy a Father's Day gift? Well, I'm looking forward to one, and if I don't get one, I'll be talking about it Monday. All right? I have to get my Father's Day gift. With that, guys, one big hug from this radio studio, from all of us here. We give you guys big hugs and big kisses for Father's Day and the entire weekend. Have a drink for us, and we'll see if we can take one for you too. God bless.
Excellent show.